And that's grueling. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think the tough part is because a lot of other body parts, because they are smaller muscles, I don't get really sore up from here up. Here down, you're gonna get sore. So it's like yesterday was booty day, and I'm going, whoo, today I'm feeling it, but I'm learning to almost embrace that little bit of soreness because I know every time I feel that, I know I've put in that work and it's just more gains and I'm improving and just bettering myself. At least I hope. So
Well, like I said, I remember I was talking to one lady. It's a process, but when you trust the process, you can understand. Basically, like this, when you understand the process, you can trust the process. It's
that's a
about
very well way to say it because there's times when you trust the process don't trust you sometimes.
mhm,
So that's
yeah,
a very well way to put it. Yeah.
yeah, and you got to factor in. It's also genetics is very important. Sometimes maybe the person who had good genetics can do pretty good, but sometimes hard work is also important.
Hmm.
It's a time you got to take in, like I said, the diet, going to the gym. You know, it's your last show. What was that thing that you wanted the most? What was that thing that thing that was calling your name after you were done? You were hungry, you were thirsty, you were with the kids. What was that had you calling you? It was calling your name. You're like Pookie Lee Jack
Man,
City. It was calling my name, man. It was calling my
ah,
name.
get in my belly.
Get in me,
Uh,
belly.
what's funny is my go-tos, which is weird because there's so many options and you're so hungry for like everything. But it's weird. I go to Five Guys hamburgers and I get like the three stack, and some like the guys can't. They're like, there's no way that that's for. Because my husband usually goes in because I'm all still dolled up. I'm tired. So when he runs in, he'll say, "I need this and that." And half the time, there's one time I had to go in there like, "We don't believe this is for you. That can't be for your wife. That's 100 and something pounds." And he's like, "No, I promise you, it's for her. She just did a bodybuilding show and she's starving." So I like Five Guys. I like pizza. I try not to go too crazy, but what's really funny is I've learned the way my body works and being so depleted the days before the show and the day of the show. When I do eat that next day, no matter how much it is, and if it's a lot of carbs, and usually it's pizza, that's the best. I actually look better that day. So now being self coaching and self training, I'm learning into every show and every prep is different and how I go into things now. So I think this time too, I might switch my carb up intake a little bit differently because I've learned after the show that next day I have the physique that I really should have had that day before on that stage. Just the muscles, the veins are popping because you're fueled and that salt intake and those carbs had just hit just right. So, and again, being, self-coaching, I'm learning as I go, and it's a process, so I'm trying
Yeah,
to trust myself as I go and know what my body is capable of doing. So there's where I go. I go to Five Guys and pizza and
yeah.
milkshakes and all the above.
Yeah, because I think a lot of competitors do refeeds because if you compete in NPC and then they have the prejudging, and then sometimes after that they go, okay, my coach let me do a refeed. I get a little something. A burger and fries, those are always the popular ones. Pizzas. I know Lily, she told me she loved lasagna. That was her favorite thing
Yeah.
after the show. A donut.
Anything high carb, anything that's high carb, we run to. We
Yeah,
don't walk, we run to.
yeah, because he's tired of the dry chicken or turkey or
Yeah.
broccoli or asparagus. You want a nice like a nice iced potato coming out the
Yeah.
oven and
I want that donut. I want that potato with that sour cream that's not fattening, with the cheese and the butter and all that goodness. And yeah, it's nice to indulge, but a big part of this sport, and again, what I've learned is I don't like calling it off season. A lot of people call it off season. If you're in this sport, um, what's the word? I guess to take it to as a career, I have learned there's no off season. I'm always very so much on. So, and the improvement season, I like to call it, is even more so as important as prep. just you got to fuel just right. I don't want to put too much body fat on. I don't want to over do things because then when I have to cut again and lean again, having that extra weight, having to bring it down again. So I've learned the diet part is more important than almost the gym. So the diet is a huge part of it. So I'm learning to, and my body's become so accustomed with the diet now, as crappy as it always is, the dry chicken and the green beans and the repetitiveness of it. I guess being in it so long, your body and the cleanliness of it, my body almost enjoys that now and it almost likes that now and it likes it right where it's at. So I like to have those refeed days too, where I really like those hamburgers and those days, but I've also noticed when I have them how it makes my body feel sometimes too. Just those different foods that you do put into that gas tank. So I try to really still eat pretty healthy in my improvement season. I don't go
Yeah.
too crazy.
Well, I can understand, yeah, because I had, I'm pre-diabetic, and I got to be smart about it. But sometimes I still like to eat certain things, and
Mhm.
also I was at one point I was almost 500 pounds. I right now I'm like down to 403. I was doing pretty good, but then I had some
Good job.
setbacks. Yeah, I had some setbacks. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can't be on the treadmill too much. I mean, and it's a lot of work to
Yeah, it's hard.
try. Yeah, because staying eating clean, as they say. I cooked a little steak with some gravy and some corn and a little bit of rice. Just something, because then there's times where I might get a hot dog or some fried chicken, but it's just
Mm,
I'm not being a bodybuilder.
the
I'm just a
good
guy
stuff.
living my life and trying to get there. Uh,
Hey, and you live it. It
yeah,
sounds great.
we got here from a man, Davius Adam. He says hello, hello, Davius,
Hi,
and
nice to meet you,
also
Davies.
Lawrence says you're welcome because he appreciate that comment you said to him, and one thing is this is not a very well lucrative sport in bodybuilding. It is expensive. It's like it's a poor man's sport or a poor woman's sport because
Hmm.
especially for you ladies, it costs more y'all for because you have to, other than tanning, you got to get your hair, your makeup done, your nails. Your posing suits cost more than the guys who wear,
Jewelry.
yeah, jewelry. Guys are wearing, all guys got to have is the tan and a banana hammer or a pair of board shorts, you
Yep, yep.
know. And your prize money is depending on like which your organization is not as big compared to other ones, but the prize money don't really make up for the time you put
No,
into it. Yeah, because
yeah.
you got to think about it. You got to travel to the shows. You got to get your tan, and you got to get this and that. And that money could go to, hey, I can take the kids out one day, or me and the hubby go out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or like right now, like spring break's coming up. Take the kids to Florida, go to Universal Studios, or there's a lot of options. So yeah, this sport, especially for the bikini, especially, is is not cheap. And so there's where I have to pick and choose my battles with my shows too, because I am still at the end of the day a wife and a mother. And as much as I still love the sport and I want to hit as many shows as possible and keep, growing in the sport, I still am very um, realistic that it is expensive. And like you said, you're not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed even as a pro now to get up with these other pros. You have to still place that top three to get anything back. And to make the most, you have to take first place. You're never guaranteed, like you said, and there's traveling, the hotel, all the gas money, the hair, the makeup, the polygraph you have to pay for, so forth, so on, and so by the time you're done, the show is plus paying to enter the show, depending how many divisions you want to enter. Wow.
Yeah,
So
the
it can
thing
get
that this
expensive.
you said the polygraph because y'all do polygraph because you want to whenever you compete you want to test to see if they're
Yep.
taking any kind of performance enhancer. So you have a polygraph. You have to
Yep.
pay for that too.
Yeah, it's $60 cash, and it is usually either an ex-police officer or an active one, and they're set up in the hotel, the guest hotel or wherever they're doing it at. And they call you. You have to set up a time slot and schedule for it, and you have to pass it that evening. And if you don't, because they even ask you to like, and also you like, there's marijuana. I mean, even though you can smoke it, take it, but if there's people that's done it 12 hours in advance, which there are, they shut it down, make you either have to come back or you're kicked out of the show. So yeah, that polygraph, they make you take it. And the reason for that being is it's double, I guess it's a double protection on the OCB's part because there's so many ways to get around it now, and there are a lot of NPC competitors coming over to here, or like that, like a lot of diabetic or things, and so there's a lot of trickiness into that because there are still people that have medical issues that might need certain medications that the OCB might say is illegal,